Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today we have a slightly sinister, spine chilling review for you as we take a look at both Midnight and the Well. But first, let's take a look at Midnight. What was Midnight about? Well, Midnight was the Doctor and Donna being on a vacation. And the Doctor constantly in the beginning of this story is trying to convince Donna Noble to go on a space shuttle with him. But Donna's too busy and a little bit preoccupied at the spa. She's loving life and she just says to the Doctor to make sure he comes home for dinner. But what the Doctor doesn't know is what he's about to face is nothing like anything he's seen before. The Doctor and his fellow passengers are going across the diamond planet of Midnight, and as they go out into the unknown, they find themselves in a predicament not like anything any of them have ever faced before. The Doctor goes to ask the drivers what's happening in the cockpit, and the drivers say they've just hit something, and for some reason they can't move any further forward. One of the drivers spots something out on the Diamond Glacier as they open up the shields, and before long, the figure he sees in the distance seems to snap out of existence and away from view. They pull down the shutters, and the Doctor is escorted by the flight attendant back to his seat. But upon doing so, after feeling very worried about the drivers of the vehicle, he goes to open the door only to discover that the whole cockpit had been ripped right out of the buggy, meaning that they are the only thing left on that ice and chilly plain of diamond. They are the only people in the no space. We learn across the course of Midnight that, of course, there's a professor, there's a family, and there's a woman who feels like she doesn't quite belong. She's just had a breakup with her girlfriend, and all of a sudden, something is hitting the top of the vehicle. But what could it be? And soon she starts screaming, saying it's coming for her as she stands in front of the door. The young lady's name is Sky, and she falls to the floor. But when she looks up, it's as if she's not quite herself, and the creature itself is now using her like a puppet, learning, laughing at the crew. At first, it starts copying the Doctor, and then it starts copying everyone else. And then it tries to convince everyone else that now it's left Sky and has gone into the Doctor. But when it seems like it has gone into the Doctor, it seems to have gone back. And so, the creature manipulates everyone in the crew to try and chuck the Doctor out into the carbonated, unlivable, uninhabited sort of space outside of the vehicle. Flight attendant notices this, and so she sacrifices herself, chucking herself and Sky out into the void in hopes that it will stop the creature once and for all. Of course, this is not the last time we will see the Midnight Monster, as we now go into the phase of the Well. The Doctor and Belinda Chandra have just escaped the claws and the clutches of Lux, and are now back in a new adventure. They apparate into the far future, 4,000 years on from the events of Midnight. The Doctor and Belinda find themselves in a reconnaissance mission. They get pushed out of this ship after putting on a suit and fall to a planet way below the surface to find themselves in the midst of a dead world. The world is dead, barren, and most of all, silent. But what could lay beyond? The Doctor and Belinda get questioned by everyone in the Force, and so the Doctor whips out his psychic paper and announces himself as a superior officer. After announcing himself to the crew, the Doctor and this platoon go onto a base in which they say that there has been no contact for a long, long time. About 15 days, to be exact. It took 15 days for a whole colony of people to disappear. Once they get in the base, they find out that the people didn't disappear. Instead, all of them are dead. But once they get further into the base, they detect one life sign, this being of a young woman named Alice, a mother. Alice explains to them that everyone seems to have gone mad, and she's the last one left. She sadly had to kill her friend, but at a cost she wished she didn't have to. Doctor leaves Belinda behind to look after Alice and her scar, but upon doing so, Belinda starts to notice something odd about Alice, like as if there's a creature, as if something is hiding behind her, but they just can't quite see it. The doctor in the other room, with the two head of officers, begins to start asking questions when he gets to a well that goes so far down into the planet that it seems to never end, but there is nothing in there to their detection, and nothing is got out. After going through all the designations of the planet that they are standing on, the Doctor soon learns that the planet used to have carbon, and most importantly, used to be made of diamonds. This starts to tear away at the Doctor, as he soon realizes this is not the first time he's been here. When he asks when the planet was made of diamonds, they mentioned 4,000 years ago. The Doctor remembering in another life, he had been on this planet, and of course he asks what the name of the planet was, before all of its designations, and one of the commanding officers says, Midnight. Doctor runs back to the crew in hopes that he can stop them from being stupid and doing anything reckless. But of course, the crew are too agitated by this creature they can't see, and so they try to do everything in their power to maybe attack it at some point. But then the Doctor points out, how can you kill something if it kills you at the strike of 12? Mutiny starts, and one of the crew members, who calls himself the Sergeant, gets a lot of people killed. His second in command gets him killed by telling Alice to move to her right. This is only because he got too reckless. But of course, now they're stuck in a predicament. What do? How do they defeat a creature they can't see? And obviously they can't take it off the planet because that's exactly what it wants. Doctor steps close to Alice and suddenly realizes the reason the creature hasn't managed to kill her is because she can't hear it. She can't hear its laughter. She can't hear it trying to drive her mad. And soon he realizes that there is only one way to destroy this creature, and that's to use its own reflection against it. And so he manages to save Alice by, of course, getting the creature to reflect itself off of the mercury that the mine was using. But soon he learns that this is not enough. Alice escapes, but the creature is locked inside with the Doctor, Belinda, and one of the commanders, Shazia. Shazia had already told the Doctor about the fact that she used to run on her planet and has been running ever since. She shoots Belinda after finding that the creature has gone behind her, and so, passing it on to Shazia, she jumps into the well, hoping to destroy the creature once and for all. But of course, nothing is ever truly dead. Get another pop-up of Mrs. Flood, pretending to be a superior officer to the whole operation. She asks about the Doctor and shows his scanner. She points out that he is a admirable service to their mission, and that he has done a good service. The person doing the report opposite Mrs. Flood runs off into the hallway and discovers that the police box is gone. But all of a sudden, when everything feels like it's over, she hears the whispering of the tickle of the back of her neck. And suddenly, it proves that the Midnight Monster was never really gone, and it's now attached to someone else. So overall, what did I think of Midnight and the Well? Well, both stories are very spine-chilling. They're very unnerving. And more importantly, they remind me of plots such as The Mimic, The Thing, Alien, Predator, stuff like that. And this idea of being isolated on a planet is what sells me so much on stories like this. I like the idea that the Doctor is powerless because he doesn't know what to do. And I love the idea that even the Doctor, like when he was in Midnight, he could be controlled. He could be put on a knife edge and know that he can't escape. He felt paralysed, he felt used, and most importantly, he felt hopeless. And that is why Midnight and the Well, from me personally, will get a big fat 10 out of 10. These stories are brilliant, and I just love it. And I mean, I know this is a sequel, but just saying, BBC, I feel like you can make a trilogy out of this. You can make another one because it is so spine chilling. And we, to our knowledge, this creature still ain't dead. So, yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, and allons-y, my fellow Whovians.